In this video, we are going to be taking a look at the New York State Education Department Computer Science and Digital Fluency Standards for kindergarten and first grade around the concept area of computational thinking. At the bottom of your screen, you are going to see a link out to the New York State website that has all of the resources and information you need around these standards. You may open that link at any time to be able to review what the standards are and all the resources on that page. But for this video, we're really going to be focusing in on the concept area of computational thinking. Computational thinking is broken down into 4 sub-concept areas. The first sub-concept area is modeling and simulation. Modeling is thinking about a way to represent all the data that we have observed, understood, or tried to simulate, and thinking about ways we can generate that information in order to make predictions. The next area is data analysis and visualization. So here we're thinking about our ways of cleaning up the data that we have to make it useful, to draw conclusions, or to understand ways that we can visualize it. So let's say you give your first graders or kindergartners a bucket of buttons and you ask them to sort them in different ways and then communicate why they sorted them in a different way. That's when you're really doing that data analysis and visualization. In the subconcept area of abstraction and decomposition, here we're trying to reduce the complexity by really focusing in on those key elements. So you're thinking about the tasks that you do and think about the things that are in common on those tasks to make sure that we're hitting the most important parts. We're thinking about how we can break down our problems into smaller parts to be able to understand them better and how to fix those parts if something doesn't work quite right. And then finally, the last subconcept area in computational thinking is algorithms and programming. Here we're thinking about that sequence. What are the steps necessary in order for us to accomplish a specific task? We are thinking sometimes about code, but at the younger grades for K-1, it really is thinking about the step-by-step procedure, the directions, and organizing, how to solve a problem or how to make something work. On this page, you still have access to the State Ed website, more resources beyond what we're covering in this video, and a QR code to take you out to the activity books that we're going to go out to right now. I'm going to click on that first book, K-1, click on Read Now, and this time instead of going to Impacts of Computing, we are going to go to the second one down, the second link down, Computational Thinking. On this page, you're going to see the concept area of computational thinking, the 4 sub-concept areas, and a video that will define computational thinking for you and for your students. You may use this video in your classroom as a way to organize this area and to start thinking about those computational thinking processes. The first concept area or subconcept area rather is modeling and simulation. The first standard is identify and describe one or more patterns found in nature or designed and examine the patterns to find similarities or make predictions. Here we're really thinking about patterns and how we can make predictions on them. So you can look at snowflakes or butterflies. You can look at different drawings. You can do art activities like origami to really make sure that you're covering the standard. Again, you have resources and activities that are listed in these books to help you think about how you may want to roll them out into your classroom. And then the next sub-concept area is data analysis and visualization. Here we're thinking about ways to identify different kinds of data that can be collected from everyday life. So here you can have your students create and read charts. You can have them take a field trip to the cafeteria. You can do this with your lunch counts every day. You can have your students chart or read data by using numbers, pictures, sound, videos, anything along those lines. The next subconcept area standard under data analysis and visualization is identify ways to visualize data collaboratively, create a visualization of the data so you can have your students poll the class in different ways and have them create different types of charts. They can count out different activities like Skittles or M&Ms or something along those and see how many they have of each color. Again, here's some resources for you. And then we move on to abstraction and decomposition. Here we're looking to identify a problem or task and discuss ways to break it down into smaller steps. So in this standard, we might think about the routines that we do and understand how those things happen. This could be used during math, thinking about your making 10 strategies, something along those lines. Now we're moving on to abstraction and decomposition. Here we're really diving into recognizing how each task can be described at different levels of detail. So you can have your students think about the instructions that they do every day, like where their work goes or how they get ready to go outside for on a day that it snowed to go out to recess, that sort of thing. And then we move into algorithms and programming. And this is where we're going to spend a little time because this is where the bulk of the standards within this concept area tend to lie. The first one is talking about following an algorithm. So you might have the students line up in a certain way to follow an algorithm, think about ways to solve a math problem. Origami, again, works very well here to cover this standard. The next one in algorithms and program is identifying terms that refer to different or concrete values over time. So this could be giving them a set of information, and the students have to label and organize based on the information that you gave them. Really a great one to do with your today's weather or word of the week and different things that might change over time. The next one within algorithms and programming is identifying the task consisting of steps that are repeated and recognize which steps are repeated. So you can think about how often they might repeat the steps to walk from their desk to the front door, or they can sing a familiar song or recite a poem to really help them understand that standard. For algorithms and programs standard 9, here we're looking to debug. So now they have to be able to figure out the things that need to be fixed. So there might be an error in how they're washing their hands or how they sharpen their pencils or giving a robot or pretending to be a robot and giving them directions and see what they do. And then finally, within algorithms and programming, you're collaboratively creating a plan that outlines the steps you need to complete a task. So the students might say, this is how we're going to do something, and then compare the steps against somebody else's. Or you can think about, the processes that you teach your students every day, like tying shoes or getting ready for lunch and so on. So those are the standards for the computational thinking concept area. Go ahead and take some time and look through the activities and see how you can roll these